Republicans essentially say that the president of the United States going on social media and directing a U.S. attorney to indict a political opponent after previous efforts to do so fell short through an IG report that found no wrongdoing, through prosecutors in the district who said that there was not sufficient evidence to bring the case. So watching somebody like Speaker Johnson normalize that,
Partisan
it sends
actors.
us down an incredibly dangerous path.
Get him,
And I think
Scott.
the other thing I would
Look
say
at
was quickly
Scott. He's ready,
Kristen's
dude.
point, or to
Hi, welcome. I'm excited about this one. The gift that keeps on giving. And no, this time I'm not talking about Scott Jennings. I'm talking about Bakari, Mr. Bakari, maybe Sellers. I can't remember his last name, but dude, he keeps uploading these clips of him saying stupid stuff, and he thinks it's working for him. Like he thinks he's winning these arguments. So hey, Scott's gonna get him.
And
Well-
that's what he's using the Department of Justice for.
Well, she was apt and qualified enough to get a grand jury to look at the evidence and return 2 charges against him. Are you saying that this process, which is used all over the country every single day to bring crimes all over the code, is somehow broken? These are ordinary citizens in a liberal jurisdiction who looked at evidence from a prosecutor and said, yeah, it looks like there's something here. Is that not what happened?
Yeah, but I mean, you can indict a ham sandwich. I mean, I can have a grand jury go in there and say that Bakari Sellers is the next Denzel Washington. I mean, that is just the
Team. That was such a dumb point that I got nothing. I can't even counter it. It was so dumb. It was like Joe Biden saying, "What?"
way the
I don't
process
think you could find a grand jury that would do that.
How is this landing with voters, do you think?
So this is the sort of thing where right now there are issues like cost of living, things that are affecting people's pocketbooks that are so much higher up on the list.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now Democrats want to talk about the kitchen table issues that are affecting everybody's pocketbooks. That's what she said, right? That's what she said. Now that's much higher. But Trump's trumped up 33 felony counts. That was a top priority. Right. Spare me, bitch.
It is true that for Democrats, issues like threats to democracy, worries about is our system hanging together properly, are the top issue for them.
Okay, real quick, last one. Democrats ran on this. They ran on the theory that threats to democracy or the end of democracy was the top priority to American citizens. It's not. And it doesn't mean the American citizens are ignorant. What it means is that they know it's all a facade to get at Trump. They know, like, all right, this ain't really an issue. The guy's not a threat to democracy. In fact, last time I checked, you guys went after your political opponent. You guys preemptively pardoned people that weren't even on trial, haven't even been served. That was you guys. You guys were the ones that said, if you don't get this shot, you will not be accepted into society. So let's not talk about threats to democracy like that was a main concern for Republicans now, because we know it's a facade.
Right now, for political independence, something like this is probably potentially troubling, but Republicans can say, hey, look, as soon as Donald Trump was indicted in New York on what they felt were pretty ticky-tack charges back then, this is just another chapter in a story tale as old as time.
So let's just bring up this graphic here of Trump retaliation. Here are just some of Trump's political opponents. Former FBI Director James Comey has been in.
Why is the former FBI director one of Trump's political opponents? Can we let's analyze that for a second. Why would the FBI director, a bipartisan position, or excuse me, a nonpartisan position, be a political opposition to the current president? I thought it was neutral. We're just going to gloss over that, huh?
Indicted. The New York Attorney General Letitia James is under investigation. Senator Adam Schiff under investigation. Former Special Counsel Jack Smith under investigation.
Dude, this is the most crazy lineup. I can't believe they just put them all on the stand at the same time. We got Mr. Comey. He let Clinton off with a warning for having a secret server and destroying all of her stuff. Like literally destroyed. Like, oh, did you wipe it? She's like, what do you mean, like a towel? All right, that was too long on Comey. Letitia James, she ran on the fact that she was going to go after Trump, and then got him on a loan he paid off many years ago that the bank was happy about. Adam Schiff has been literally the forefront of every single Democratic hoax, mainly Russiagate. He was like the guy. He was like wide-eyed open, like, there is no doubt, it's unequivocal that the evidence supports that Donald Trump was a Russian agent. All right, and I don't have enough time for the rest of them. You got Bolton. If you're not in war, he's your enemy. Mark Milley literally called up China behind the president's back and said, disregard this public statement that's going to come out. Yeah, John Brennan. Like, and it's like, yeah, Chris Krebs, Miles Taylor, DHS official. There's probably so much more than this. This makes me excited.
National Security Advisor John Bolton under investigation, and we do expect there will be charges filed. Retired General Mark Milley under investigation. Former CIA Director John Brennan under investigation. Former CISA Director Chris Krebs under investigation. Former DHS official
That looks like Trump a little bit.
under investigation.
Chris Krebs.
Look, I mean, this is what Donald Trump said he was going to do during the campaign. He said, I am your retribution. He was very clear this is what he was going to do. And I think it's actually Republican willingness to normalize, cover for, apologize for this behavior. I was listening to you interview Speaker Johnson, and it's just
Y'all
striking
lost,
to watch
like,
congressional.
the spin doctorism here. Like, honestly, she doesn't, there's no way she believes this, right? Like, let's take a look at her. I mean, she looks like she's trying to convince herself. I think some of these people see through the Democratic facade, but they're like, hey, I'll show up on CNN twice a month for 10 grand if I just say this stupid stuff. She looks like she doesn't believe what she's saying.
Piggyback on what Kristen was saying. I do think there's actually also an opportunity cost here with voters for Trump. People voted for him in huge part to bring costs down. The more they watch him focus on personal retribution, yes, it motivates his base. Yes, it motivates the Democratic base. But for these voters in the middle who are looking for their cost of living to come down, for their lives to be better, they say, why are you not focused on what matters to me?
I'm stumped.
Can we not walk into bubblegum, ma'am? Are you saying I can't get Comey arrested for everything fraudulent he's done, including some reason posting a death threat on the president on his social media account, which somehow I guess was a good idea? Insane. Get him, Scott.
To hear you say we're now worried about normalizing this kind of thing. We had an
You
attorney
are about to do right now. Let's
No.
hear it.
I'm about to tell you what happened in the state of New York when the Democratic Attorney General ran an entire political campaign promising not to uphold justice, but to prosecute one person,
Yep.
Donald Trump. And I didn't hear a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth among Democrats about normalizing the weaponization of justice. That chart you put up there, my question is, do they deserve it? If they didn't do anything wrong, I'm not certain anything bad is going to happen to them. Bolton, that started under Joe Biden. James, I mean, these people that you put on the screen, they may have something that needs to be looked at. But don't you have trust in the
Yes.
processes, grand juries? This is how the system works, and I don't have any. And Jim Comey, he's going to
But
go
I
to
think
trial.
it's the abuse.
He's going to get a day in court in front of a
the
jury
abuse of the system, and what we're talking about is the abuse of the system.
What
Making
abuse?
people,
What abuse?
making
beyond
Yeah, what abuse?
The idea of prosecuting people.
What abuse?
When Democrats were
Because-
going after Trump, were you worried about abuse?
because I firmly believe that Donald Trump broke the law and he was indicted.
Do you think the 34
So-
charges that are cited all the time
You
were
just-
good
But
charges?
let me just say this. I mean, you just sat here and talked about the process. You gave me a lecture about the grand jury system. Well, Donald Trump actually went to trial and got convicted.
Correct.
That is the process he went through. And let me just explain to you the difference in the abuse and the difference
Yeah.
in departments of justice. I mean, we can go all the way back to Republicans having a fit when JFK tried to nominate RFK, his brother, to be Attorney General. But I can actually go back to Joe Biden. Joe Biden indicted his own son. Did he deserve to be indicted? Yes. But he indicted his own son.
You're saying the
But-
White House was directing. You're saying the White House was directing indictments.
But
You're
there's
saying
nobody
they were directing
only-
indictments.
the-
That's correct.
One person speaking
Yeah,
at a time. What
go
were you
ahead.
just saying?
Yeah, he did pardon him, and I think it does then that really sets forth this notion that there is this two-tiered system of justice and this.
Yeah, this lady's killing it, and Scott got him right on the head. If I had to guess, Bakari is literally stopping the recording right there before a true rebuttal comes out. Great work to Scott as always. And I misjudged the lady in the blue. I'm man enough to admit that she's actually pretty solid, even if she's a Dem, which I don't think she is. She's, I'd say, closer to right. So if you made it this far, you're a real one. I'll catch you next time.